The Galactic Empire, vast and powerful, had long enjoyed relative peace in its outer territories, until the day the scout ship appeared. On the fringes of the Empire's borders, the monitoring stations were the first to detect the foreign vessel. It was small, sleek, and unlike any ship they had catalogued before. Its sudden appearance caused a ripple of alarm among the Empire's intelligence officers. Despite its size, the scout ship's technology was advanced and alien. Its hull shimmered with unfamiliar energy signatures, and its propulsion system moved with an eerie silence that defied all known physics. Initially, many within the Empire breathed a cautious sigh of relief. A scout ship was hardly a threat on its own. Surely it was a preliminary probe sent ahead of a larger force. Yet the Empire's elite command council was far from complacent. They knew from past wars and whispered rumors among their intelligence networks that such scouts were often harbingers of something far more dangerous. Whispers of an impending invasion had circulated for months, but the Empire had dismissed them as paranoia, until now. The story centers on two key figures with very different perspectives on this emerging crisis. Commander Ilara Voss, a seasoned officer of the Empire's fleet, is tasked with overseeing the outer defense stations and preparing the Empire's forces for any potential threat. She is sharp, disciplined, and loyal to the Empire's cause, but aware of the fragile state of their defenses. Ilara understands that even a small misstep could escalate into a catastrophic war. Opposing her in many ways is Kalen Reese, a brilliant strategist who operates from the shadows. Kalen is part of a covert resistance movement that believes the Empire's days of unchecked power are numbered. His knowledge of alien technologies and political subterfuge makes him a valuable, but controversial figure. While the Empire fears invasion, Kalen sees an opportunity to challenge the existing order, to rally factions disillusioned by the Empire's iron grip, and to leverage the panic caused by the scouts' arrival. Back on the Empire's command, world tension rises as the scout transmits a mysterious data burst. Analysts scramble to decrypt it, but its complexity baffles even the most experienced cryptographers. The data contains encrypted maps, tactical information, and strange symbols that hint at a far larger force lurking beyond the Empire's borders, an armada unlike anything the galaxy has seen. As the scout continues its mission near the Empire's borders, it sends brief cryptic messages back to its home fleet. These transmissions, intercepted by Empire intelligence, serve as warnings that the invasion plans are already in motion. Panic begins to simmer within the Empire's political halls, and debates erupt over whether to bolster defenses, attempt diplomacy, or prepare for total war. Meanwhile, the scout ship remains elusive, moving swiftly and stealthily through the Empire's outer systems. Its presence is a constant reminder that the calm the Empire once enjoyed may be shattered at any moment. Ordinary citizens, hearing rumors of the scouts' arrival, start to worry about what the future holds. Traders hesitate to enter contested sectors, and military personnel are put on high alert. In this first part, the story sets the stage for a galactic crisis. It establishes the stakes and introduces readers to the key players whose decisions will shape the fate of entire star systems. The arrival of the scout ship is not just a simple reconnaissance mission. It is the opening move in a game of cosmic chess that will test loyalties, strategies, and the will to survive. With the scout ship's arrival confirmed and its cryptic data intercepted, the Galactic Empire's leaders can no longer ignore the looming threat. The initial cautious optimism about the scout being a mere probe quickly fades as new intelligence paints a far darker picture. The Empire is thrust into a state of high alert as signals emerge that an overwhelming armada is heading their way, one far larger and more advanced than any they have ever faced. The story opens in the heart of the Empire's strategic command center, where massive holographic displays show real-time readings of the scouts' movements and intercepted communications. Empire officers and analysts work frantically, attempting to piece together the information hidden in the scouts' transmissions. The data reveals glimpses of the Armada's staggering capabilities, fleets equipped with advanced energy weapons, shields that can shrug off the Empire's best attacks, and propulsion systems capable of near-instantaneous travel across star systems. As news of the Armada's approaching threat spreads, A high-stakes political council is convened. The Empire's ruling elite gather to debate how best to respond. Some advocate for immediate military mobilization, arguing that any hesitation will lead to annihilation. Others caution against rushing into war, urging diplomacy in hopes of avoiding a catastrophic conflict. The debate exposes deep divisions among the Empire's leadership, showcasing their conflicting priorities and fears. Amid this chaos, Kalen Reese operates from the shadows. As a leader of a covert resistance network opposing the Empire's authoritarian rule, Kalen sees the panic as a unique opportunity. He reaches out to sympathetic factions within the Empire's borders and beyond, attempting to rally support for a new coalition. His message is clear: the Empire's grip is weakening, and only through unity and bold action can their world survive the coming storm. Kalen's efforts are risky. The Empire's intelligence agencies are on high alert, hunting for dissidents and traitors who might undermine the war effort. Yet, despite the danger, Kalen's influence grows, especially among younger officers and border planets tired of years of imperial neglect and corruption. His vision for a different future, one where power is shared and resistance is not crushed, begins to resonate. Meanwhile, the Empire's military scrambles to respond. Reconnaissance fleets are dispatched to track the scout and detect any signs of the Armada's advance. The Empire's best warships prepare to move to strategic positions near vital star systems and resource hubs. But these maneuvers come too late to prevent widespread panic among the civilian population. Refugees begin to flee border worlds, and rumors spread of mass evacuations and rationing. As the political infighting intensifies, Ilara Voss, the Empire's fleet commander, grows increasingly frustrated. She understands the gravity of the situation but finds herself hampered by political leaders reluctant to commit fully to war preparations. She presses for aggressive defense strategies and rapid fleet deployment, warning that hesitation could be fatal. Yet her calls for unity meet resistance from those who fear the consequences of open conflict. Tension rises to a boiling point when the scout ship suddenly attacks an outlying Empire outpost. The strike is swift and devastating, revealing the ICR Armada's capability to hit hard and fast. The outpost, once thought secure, is reduced to rubble, and the Empire's forces suffer significant casualties. This assault shatters any remaining illusions of peace and forces the Empire's leaders to face the brutal reality. War is inevitable. The story closes this part with a palpable sense of urgency and dread. The Empire is caught between its internal divisions and the external threat looming on the horizon. With the Armada's arrival imminent, every choice matters, and the fate of countless worlds hangs in the balance. The fragile calm that lingered after the scout's arrival shatters violently when the Galactic Empire faces its first brutal attack. The scout, no longer content with simple reconnaissance, launches a devastating strike against a key Imperial outpost. This bold assault serves as a grim warning. The Armada behind the scout is not just coming, they are already here in force. The story's tension escalates sharply as the outpost, a critical communication and defense hub on the Empire's border, is targeted. Despite being well fortified, the outpost falls victim to the scout's advanced weaponry. The Empire's standard defenses prove ineffective against the scout's energy weapons, which cut through shields and hull plating with terrifying ease. The destruction is swift, precise, and demoralizing. Commander Ilara Voss, who has been pushing for stronger defenses and immediate military mobilization, receives word of the attack with a mix of fury and grim determination. She immediately orders the Empire's fleets to prepare for full-scale combat operations. Ilara understands that this strike signals the beginning of a larger invasion, and that the Empire must act decisively to protect its core systems and population centers. At the same time, the political landscape within the Empire grows more turbulent. The attack deepens divisions within the ruling council. Some leaders demand harsher crackdowns and military escalation, while others worry that such actions could provoke an even more devastating response. Political infighting threatens to paralyze the Empire at its most vulnerable moment. Meanwhile, Kalen Reese capitalizes on the chaos. As a leader of the covert resistance, he views the scout strike as an opportunity to weaken the Empire from within. He coordinates sabotage efforts against supply lines and communication networks, striking at the Empire's vulnerabilities while their attention is focused outward. His goal is not just to survive the invasion, but to ignite a revolution that will reshape the galaxy's power structure. Kalen's activities place him in great danger, as Empire intelligence ramps up efforts to root out rebels and spies. Yet his daring tactics sow confusion and disruption among the Empire's forces, buying precious time for both military and civilian evacuation efforts. His network also reaches out to neutral and border worlds, urging them to prepare for the war to come. On the battlefield, the Empire's fleet suffers setbacks. Their ships, though powerful, are unprepared for the Scouts' new offensive tactics and the Armada's advanced technology revealed through the Scouts' weaponry. The Empire's commanders realize that their intelligence underestimated the enemy's capabilities, forcing them to rethink their entire defensive strategy. Alara leads one of the Empire's key task forces in a desperate counterattack aimed at intercepting the Scout before it can strike again. The battle is intense and costly, highlighting the Empire's resilience but also its vulnerability. Despite fierce resistance, the Scout manages to evade capture or destruction, slipping back into the shadows to relay new intelligence to the approaching Armada. Civilian populations on border worlds brace for the worst. The attack shatters any lingering hope that the invasion might be avoided. Panic spreads and mass evacuations begin. Refugees flood into inner systems, putting additional strain on the Empire's already stretched resources and infrastructure. As the dust settles on this first brutal strike, the story's characters grapple with the new reality. The war they feared has arrived in full force. The Empire must quickly unify its fractured leadership, rally its military, and prepare for a prolonged and devastating conflict. Meanwhile, resistance forces like Kalen's prepare to exploit every weakness, knowing that the coming war could redefine the fate of the galaxy. After the devastating first strike by the scout ship, the Galactic Empire finds itself scrambling to regroup. The shock of the attack shakes the Empire's confidence deeply, but now is not the time for despair. It's a crucial moment to prepare for the inevitable arrival of the full Armada. The story opens with a galaxy holding its breath. Across countless star systems, ships are hastily repositioned and defensive installations fortified. Starports buzz with activity as military personnel and civilians alike rush to secure their positions or evacuate vulnerable areas. Though the sense of urgency is palpable, there is an eerie calm, an unsettling stillness, as everyone awaits the storm to come. Commander Ilara Voss is at the heart of these preparations. She commands the Empire's main defensive fleet, tasked with protecting critical worlds and supply routes. Ilara knows that time is running out. She pushes her officers and crews to train harder, coordinate better, and anticipate every possible tactic the enemy might use. Her leadership is firm but pragmatic. She must maintain discipline while acknowledging the desperation simmering under the surface. Meanwhile, within the Empire's political councils, tensions simmer dangerously. The earlier political infighting has only deepened, with factions accusing each other of weakness, betrayal, or sabotage. Some members advocate for negotiating with the invading force, hoping to buy time or avoid total destruction. Others demand a show of overwhelming military force to crush the enemy before it can fully deploy. This division threatens to paralyze decision-making at the very moment decisive action is needed. Amid the Empire's turmoil, Kalen Reese works quietly but effectively. Recognizing that outright military victory may be impossible, he intensifies his efforts to unite the disparate resistance groups scattered across the Empire's border worlds. He envisions a coalition that can operate behind enemy lines once the Armada arrives, using guerrilla tactics and sabotage to weaken the invaders from within. Ilara and Kalen's paths, once purely antagonistic, begin to converge. Although they remain wary of each other's motives, they understand that cooperation might be the only way to survive the coming conflict. Secret meetings and coded messages lead to an uneasy alliance, melding the Empire's formal military might with the Resistance's unconventional warfare skills. As the Empire's forces prepare, strange phenomena start to manifest near critical star systems. Unexplained energy fluctuations, sensor blackouts, and mysterious gravitational distortions hint at the advanced technology the Armada will use upon arrival. Scientists and engineers scramble to understand these phenomena, hoping to find weaknesses to exploit. Civilian morale is fragile. Refugee camps grow crowded, food and medical supplies run low, and rumors of betrayal and defeatist conspiracies circulate. Propaganda campaigns are launched to maintain hope and unity, but beneath the surface fear and uncertainty fester. The story's tension builds as the calm before the storm tightens its grip. Everyone, from high-ranking generals to ordinary citizens, knows that this uneasy peace is only temporary. The Armada's arrival will bring a wave of destruction, unlike anything the galaxy has seen in generations. The narrative closes this part with a dramatic moment. The first glimpse of the Armada emerging from hyperspace near a distant system. Massive warships, shining with alien design and overwhelming scale, drift silently toward the Empire's borders. This terrifying sight confirms all fears. The invasion is no longer a threat looming in the distance. It is here. The characters steel themselves for the conflict to come. Ilara's command grows more resolute, Kalen's resistance network expands its reach, and the Empire's people brace for the battle that will decide the galaxy's future. The moment the Galactic Empire has feared for months finally arrives. The alien Armada, the massive fleet hinted at by the Scouts' ominous transmissions, emerges from hyperspace on the edges of Imperial space. Their arrival marks the beginning of an epic and catastrophic confrontation that will determine the fate of the galaxy. The story opens with a breathtaking scene of colossal warships materializing in the void near a key star system. These vessels dwarf anything the Empire has ever built. Gleaming behemoths bristling with weapons, energy shields glowing faintly with alien technology, and designs that challenge the Empire's understanding of space warfare. The Armada's sheer scale sends ripples of terror and awe through the Empire's command centers. Commander Ilara Voss is at the forefront of the defensive response. She commands the Empire's fleet stationed near the Armada's entry point, tasked with buying time for the Empire to mobilize its wider forces. Ilara quickly orders a strategic withdrawal to more defensible positions, while launching probing attacks designed to test the Armada's capabilities and weaknesses. The initial skirmishes reveal that the Armada's technology is far superior. Their energy weapons can pierce the Empire's shields with ease, and their ships move with agility that defies Imperial tactics. Despite their best efforts, the Empire's forces suffer heavy losses. Yet Ilara's leadership ensures the fleet remains cohesive, avoiding total annihilation and allowing vital supply routes to remain open. Simultaneously, Kalen Reese and his resistance cells launch coordinated sabotage missions targeting Armada, supply chains, communication arrays, and landing preparations. These guerrilla strikes slow the invaders' advance, sow confusion, and buy precious time for the Empire's civilian populations to evacuate and prepare. Kalen's efforts prove vital in disrupting the enemy's logistics, demonstrating the power of unconventional warfare against a technologically superior foe. Within the Empire's political councils, the Armada's arrival galvanizes factions into a tense but united front. While disagreements remain, the existential threat forces the ruling elite to set aside differences and commit fully to the war effort. Emergency powers are granted to military commanders like Ilara, giving them greater autonomy to conduct operations without political interference. As battles rage across contested star systems, the Empire's citizens endure the hardships of war. Cities near the front lines suffer bombings and blockades, and refugees flood inner worlds. Morale dips, but resilience remains high, fueled by propaganda and stories of heroism from frontline troops and resistance fighters alike. A pivotal moment occurs when the Armada attempts to establish a foothold on a vital Imperial world, launching a massive planetary assault. The Empire's defenders, bolstered by Ilara's reinforcements and Kalen's sabotage teams disrupting enemy landing zones, mount a desperate but effective resistance. The battle becomes a symbol of hope, rallying the Empire's forces and populations to resist with unyielding determination. The story also explores the emotional toll of war on key characters. Ilara grapples with the weight of command, the lives lost under her watch, and the pressure to protect millions. Kalen balances his revolutionary ideals with the harsh realities of prolonged conflict, questioning how much sacrifice is too much. The descent of the Armada changes everything. The galaxy's balance of power is shattered, and the long-feared war is no longer a distant possibility. It is the present. Every decision, every battle, will shape the future for generations to come. The galaxy stands at a critical crossroads. The Galactic Empire, once arrogant in its dominance, now faces the full fury of an alien armada determined to reshape the cosmic order. After months of preparation, skirmishes, and harrowing battles, the conflict erupts into an all-out war, one that will decide the fate of countless worlds. The story opens with the Empire's forces fully mobilized and engaged in a desperate campaign to defend their heartlands. Commander Ilara Voss commands vast fleets stretched thin across multiple fronts. The sheer scale of the conflict demands innovative tactics, unwavering resolve, and brutal sacrifices. Ilara's leadership is tested to its limits as she orchestrates complex maneuvers to delay the enemy's advance, protect civilian populations, and keep supply lines open. Meanwhile, Kalen Reese and his resistance network operate in the shadows behind enemy lines, striking with precision at the Armada's vulnerable points. Their sabotage efforts cripple supply depots, disrupt communication networks, and ignite uprisings on occupied worlds. Kalen's vision of a united front combining formal military might and guerrilla tactics begins to take shape, becoming a powerful thorn in the Armada's side. Despite these combined efforts, the Armada's technological superiority and relentless aggression inflict heavy losses. Entire fleets are annihilated and key systems fall under alien control. The Empire's people face devastation on a scale never before seen, and despair threatens to overwhelm hope. However, the story also highlights moments of heroism and resilience. Imperial soldiers fight with fierce determination, resistance cells inspire occupied populations to rise up, and scientists develop new weapons and defenses to counter the alien technology. Ilara and Kalen both face personal trials, losses of comrades, betrayals, and moments of doubt. But they push forward, embodying the galaxy's last stand. The political leadership of the Empire, though battered by internal conflict, rallies behind the war effort. Emergency measures grant unprecedented powers to commanders and resistance leaders alike, breaking down bureaucratic barriers and enabling swift, decisive action. This unity, forged in the crucible of war, becomes the Empire's greatest strength. A turning point occurs during a massive space battle near the Empire's capital system. Ilara leads a coalition fleet, including resistance fighters, in a daring assault against the Armada's flagship. The clash is brutal, with heavy casualties on both sides. Yet, through a combination of strategic brilliance and guerrilla sabotage, disrupting the Armada's support ships, the Empire manages to cripple the enemy's command structure. This victory, though costly, inspires hope across the galaxy. It signals that the Armada is not invincible, and with determination and unity, the tide of war can be turned. As the war drags on, the story delves into the emotional cost borne by all sides. Ilara confronts the burden of command and the sacrifices demanded by war. Kalen wrestles with the moral complexity of resistance tactics that blur the lines between heroism and terror. Civilians endure displacement, loss, and hardship, their lives forever changed. The conclusion is both powerful and sobering. While the Empire survives the initial onslaught, it is forever transformed, its institutions, borders, and people scarred by the conflict. The Armada, though weakened, remains a looming threat. The story ends with a sense of cautious hope, a recognition that survival requires vigilance, unity, and the willingness to adapt. War's reckoning serves as a climax to the saga, blending intense action with profound reflection on leadership, sacrifice, and resilience. It leaves the galaxy at a pivotal moment, poised between destruction and renewal.